Are we overrating Calvin Ridley? He finished 4th in points per game in 2020, but has never finished higher than 18th in any other year. With a full year off, I'm even more worried. It's actually really more like 2 years off.
Right.
Are we overrating Calvin Ridley? We're saying he could go in the middle of round 3, guys.
I took a step back on Calvin Ridley when I uncovered a stat about Doug Peterson's track record with wide receivers. Did I ever recite these stats on the show? Have I yet?
I mean, we talked about it. You know, he never.
Yeah. Bottom line is that the target per route run rate for wide receivers, even those that run 100+ routes in Peterson's offense, both in Jacksonville and Philadelphia, was never higher than like 21.6%. So he's going to get work, but I think Peterson does like to spread the ball around.
And we saw that last year, right?
We did. There were 2 guys on the team that had over, I think it was over 120 targets each or 110 targets each. And then another one with like 90 targets. And that doesn't include the tight end. So I've watched Ridley.
That does include the tight end, right? Ingram
was in that mix.
No, the tight end, his target per route run rate last year was almost 19%.
Okay.
Oh, no,
so he's going to get involved, obviously.
Yeah.
Ridley looks fantastic. And someone stooged off to me that he's in unbelievable shape. And I heard that before training camp started. And that was part of the reason why I was very excited about him. Is there a path for him to get north of 130 targets and just absolutely dominate? I'm not sure that there's such a great path to that.
Timeout. Give me the stat again in Philadelphia and what was it?
From 2016 to 2020 and in Jacksonville last year. These are all Doug Peterson years where he's the head coach. No wide receiver with 100+ routes run had more than a 21.6% target per route run rate.
Right. But Christian Kirk did have that, and Zay Jones was at 21.2%. So
okay.
I just think like when Alshon Jeffrey is your best wide receiver, no offense to him, he was good. He's not going to – the fact that Christian Kirk got to 21.8% or 21.5 or 6%, I think that bodes well for Calvin Ridley, personally.
Do you think he can exceed that?
Yeah.
To like 25%?
So this is I don't really know target per route run rates that well. So can he have a 25% target share would be my question. Kirk's was at 23.2% last year. I definitely think Calvin Ridley can have a 25% target share.
Okay. And that gets you close. If they're throwing the ball 600 times, that gets you close to 140. And that would be great.
That's 150, right? If they're throwing,
if it's 25%, it's 150.
Yeah.
I think until we see him move into the range where Cortland Sutton was being drafted last year. Remember, at the end of it, we were like but some people were pushing him all the way up to mid-round 2. Once we get to that point, I think then he can be overrated. I didn't mean that as a shot or anything. I just think a lot of people like. No, I know it came out that way. We've all had our misses and our makes, but like there's always going to be that one guy who gets pushed up is my point. It's not like a fault of anyone. It's like you get to a point of that mid-second round where it's like, well, that teardrop happens at running back and receiver, and you need to push someone into that mix. When he gets pushed into that mix, I think then he'll be overrated. But right now you're still seeing mid-round 3, early round 3.
Yeah, I like early round 4.
Oh,
if that means late round 3 on Calvin Ridley in full PPR, then I'm not going to slam you for it. But top 24, I'm not even close to that.
Okay.
Ridley.
Just so you know, Calvin Ridley at his peak is a very good yards per target guy.
Yes.
So he can compensate. Maybe less so in PPR, maybe if he doesn't get the targets. But he can compensate because he's a big play guy, getting fewer targets. Even if he's at 100, I think if he's at 130 targets, I still think he can give you round 3 value.
Me too.
All right. Gronk 324 says, I've got the 101 in a 10-team league. Is it crazy to think about taking Travis Kelce at 101 in a 10-team league?
We've talked about this a lot I feel like on the pod, but I think you and I, Adam, have the same opinion of this, right? We don't think it's crazy. Or is that just me?
No,
I don't think it's crazy.
I think it's less crazy in a 10-team league because you can make it up for it at the other positions. But he is so good and so valuable, but he is also going to score, just in terms of raw points, so many fewer points than Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. It's just, I had him at number 1 in January when I did my top 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
I have him as like 6 now.
I also take it back. I actually like him a lot more in 12 and 14 team leagues. I need the advantage at the tight end position to be even greater for it to be worth value.
It's another way to look at it.